Through a website glitch, sales numbers were accidentally revealed, and the Duchess of Sussex appears to have sold nearly 1 million gift boxes of jam. Have we underestimated brand Meghan, Marina?
I think fair play to her. If there is demand out there, which evidently there is, to buy 3 jars of her jam for $42 each.
3 jars of jam for $42.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, if there's demand there are silly people out there. I'm not spending that much on jam. But it's like fair play to her. Fair play that she's not just sat on her bottom expecting the taxpayer to fund her. She's being entrepreneurial.
There has been a lot, Crystal, of criticism of Meghan. People slightly sneering, I would say, at her attempts. But that's a lot of jam to sell.
Yeah, I mean, you know, trading off the royal name that you claim that you don't like whatsoever and then slagging off the family that you were happy to be a part of and accusing them of racism with no evidence whatsoever is very lucrative, and it's worked.
Oh, Christo, that's so cynical.
I'm very cynical.
I'm not a fan of any. I'm not a fan of any of this lot, right? I'm not bothered by them. But to say all of that, like, is just a bit.
No, I'm
what
sorry.
Do you expect her to do? What do you expect her to do?
Leave the family. Leave the family.
They have left the family.
Issue with them
they
leaving
have
the
left
family.
the family.
Oh, try not calling her Duchess. Try not.
Yeah, that's quite insufferable.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what they've done is this. I'm not fans of them. You may have worked out.
Do you know, I didn't need to be Miss Marple to guess that.
I just think either leave the family or don't, but don't trade off the names and then fire grenades at them once you claim that you've left and you don't like them anymore. Either leave and go or not.
Whatever. Christo, if that were your a family that you'd married into, this firm that essentially, like, briefs the tabloids against you, guess what? You'd have some beef.
You're saying all of that, though, based on her words and not evidence. Like, they haven't come back and said...
You don't think the firm briefs the tabloids?
You don't think that she does the same? Like,
Okay.
you know, that's,
and just like
game.
that, we're as far away from jam as you can possibly imagine.
But you've got to remember, they know a lot about why they left that we are not privy to, that they can't talk about, because believe you me, I am sure that if they really wanted to slag off the royal family, and you know what I'm talking about, Christo, if they really wanted to slag off the royal family, they would slag off the royal family, right? There are a lot of sitting ducks there that they could take out.
Now, Squaddies. The jam sold out in record time, 200,000 jars gone just like that, and the internet exploded in exactly the way you'd expect when Meghan does literally anything. Supporters flooded social media with celebratory posts, many emphasising that they'd purchased multiple boxes, praising the quality, jammy delicious, one enthused about the raspberry spread on morning toast, and pointing out that this success had nothing to do with royal proximity and everything to do with Meghan's established brand and business acumen. The defenders were quick, organised and loud. She was already wealthy and famous before the royal wedding, they insisted. She's using her own name, Sussex, not trading on HRH titles. And if royal names guaranteed sales, why aren't King Charles's products flying off shelves instead of gathering dust? Meanwhile, the critics, and oh, there were critics, descended with their usual fury, particularly on British television panels, where presenters stumbled over themselves to dismiss the achievement, insisting she was only successful because of her connection to the royal family, conveniently ignoring that she'd left that family 6 years ago and built an entirely separate life in California. The racial undertones weren't subtle. Supporters repeatedly called it out, pointing to the sick logic and bold hate that seemed to follow this particular duchess in ways it never followed others who'd monetized their royal connections. The controversy wasn't really about jam at all. It was about the same exhausting, unhinged obsession that had been playing out in the British media since the day she married Harry, except now she was winning, making millions, and they couldn't stand it. Duchess Meghan's jam empire crushes all doubters, sales explode while haters choke on their jealousy. The jam sold out in unprecedented time, leaving these bitter trolls speechless and scrambling to move the goalposts yet again. International customers flooded the site, proving that people around the world don't give a damn about what these racist UK media clowns have to say. They want quality, and that's exactly what our Duchess delivered. The reviews are pouring in from actual consumers who've tasted the product, and guess what? It's delicious. It's jammy perfection. It's the best jam people have ever had, and no amount of hateful commentary from jealous presenters can change that fact. People are buying boxes for themselves, and as gifts, the raspberry spread is flying off toast into people's mouths every morning, and the orange marmalade has even New York doormen singing praises. This is what success looks like when you're an astute businesswoman who built her empire on hard work and quality, not grifting off taxpayers like some people we know. And the haters can sit there with their dusty royal jams on shelves, collecting cobwebs, while Meghan's products dominate the market and prove once again that she doesn't need anyone's title to win. British media's relentless attack on Meghan's business success television presenters, like that obnoxious fellow with his foul mouth and 2-cent brain, have questioned Meghan's marketing tactics, exposing their idiocy before all, with their desperate claims that she's only succeeding because she's relying on royal titles to sell her products. These hypocrites, with their disgusting dishonesty and double standards, dismiss the legitimacy of her business entirely, refusing to acknowledge that Meghan was already a successful actress and entrepreneur with millions of followers and her own wealth long before she ever joined those miserable royals. They're so pathetic and unhinged, they can't see what's right in front of their faces. If it was really about the royal name, then why can't King Charles with his title sell 1 million jars of his jam that just sits on shelves collecting dust? The truth is, these bitter, black-heart souls, full of jealousy, simply cannot stand that this beautiful black woman walked away from their toxic family and is now winning on her own terms, building her empire with her own hard work, while they're still obsessed with her every move, giving her free publicity and helping her make millions, whether they like it or not. Meghan's self-made success? Built on merit, not monarchy. Let's be crystal clear about something these haters conveniently forget every single time they open their mouths. Meghan built her millions long before she ever set foot in that miserable institution. She was already successful, already wealthy, already making her own money as an established actress and entrepreneur with a thriving platform and millions following her work. Her business success today is based entirely on her personal brand, her hard work, and her own name, not some dusty royal titles that mean absolutely nothing to Americans who kicked out the monarchy centuries ago. If trading off royal titles actually worked, then explain to me why Charles' jam collects dust on the shelves while Meghan's sells out in record time. The answer is simple. It's not about proximity to royalty, it's about quality, authenticity, and a woman who knows how to build a brand. She picked up right where she left off with the TIG, using her own talent and business savvy, and these jealous commentators can't stand that she's thriving without needing a single thing from that family she left behind. What, pray, is the selling of I Million as Ever jam got the hell to do with the royal family? Why then Fergie, divorced over 30 years ago from the former Duke of York, but continued to market herself shamelessly as the Duchess and use this title to sell everything and anything? Nothing was too small Weight Watchers, clothes on paid TV channels, her endless books of every genre she could imagine, And yet, 30 years later, she stands bankrupt and reduced to throwing herself at the mercy of Charles, begging for money. You dimwit ignoramus evidently have no clue about entrepreneurship, have never made any money, and sadly, instead of learning from the genius, well-thought-out plan and strategy adapted by Meghan to introduce, soft launch, and later launch her carefully curated range of household goods she has introduced to the public in the last 9 months, during which period she has positioned herself to be the next great billionaire. Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the clueless Windsor, whose wealth is derived from centuries-old wealth and plundered goods from their vast empire. I would be surprised if Harvard Business School, in their program, Leadership in Zaction, do not introduce The Marketing of As Ever by Meghan Sussex, a genius of today. P.S. The King might do well to adapt her brilliant strategy to market his products from the Duchy of Lancaster and Highgrove. I believe they are not doing so well. The unrelenting campaign against the Duchess of Sussex. The systematic hate campaign unleashed against Meghan has been nothing short of breathtaking in its cruelty and relentlessness. These bitter souls on British television and in the media can't seem to grasp that their obsessive daily vitriol only exposes their own pathetic jealousy and racism. The double standards are glaring. When Catherine or other royals launch products or use their titles for commercial ventures, crickets, but let Meghan sell jam that Americans are lining up to buy, and suddenly these hypocrites are foaming at the mouth about trading off the royal name. Never mind that King Charles's dusty products sit on shelves unsold, proving it's not about the title at all. It's about her. The ongoing media scrutiny and negative coverage has morphed into full-blown stalking, an industrial outrage machine desperate to police who gets to thrive, with the British establishment's symbiotic relationship feeding this monster every single day. How much more silent does this woman have to be? How much more gone does she need to get before they leave her alone? She fled the UK for her life. She's built her empire on her own merit. She was already successful and wealthy before Harry, thank you very much. She hasn't responded to a single one of their attacks since leaving. Yet there they are, hungover and drunk from her pizzazz, unable to get her name out of their lousy mouths, while she keeps calm, carries on, and wins. Meghan Sussex's success exposes royal brand. Myth. Look at what you left behind, people still hungover, drunk from your pizzazz. While these hate-mongers foam at the mouth about Meghan allegedly trading on royal titles, let me tell this idiot something. If titles truly guaranteed success, then why can't King Charles, with his title, sell 1 million jars of his jam? His products and those of other royals have to be dusted from sitting on the shelves so long because nobody's buying them. Fergie, Andrew, Edward, they've all tried to earn their own money legally with their royal merchandise and failed woefully. The least of which these habitual royalists lack interest to understand is that Meghan had a name long before meeting Harry. She was always somebody, a very successful entrepreneur and intelligent woman who built her millions in terms of income as an actress and the number of people following her platform. So this sick logic that she needs the royal name is just more lies from the industrial outrage machine desperate to police who gets to thrive. Because apparently it's not about the title, it's about quality, hard work, and having something people actually want. These bunches of fools can go rotate because we proved in 1776 and 1812 that America doesn't give us tea about royal family names. Period and amen. Meghan Sussex proved success is the sweetest revenge, as jam sales, silence critics. Through it all, Meghan has maintained a dignified silence that speaks volumes louder than any clapback ever could. She hasn't responded to the British media, the royal family drama, or even her own estranged relatives since leaving the UK, choosing instead to let her success do the talking. While the naysayers foam at the mouth daily, she's been laser-focused on what actually matters: building her business empire, nurturing her family with Prince Harry and their beautiful children Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, and creating products that people genuinely love. She's not playing their game anymore. She's not feeding the trolls. She's not giving them the satisfaction of a reaction. She's simply thriving, unbothered, moving forward without addressing the negativity that follows her like a sad, desperate shadow. The Duchess of Sussex picked up right where she left off with the Tig, proving she was always somebody long before she ever set foot in that dysfunctional institution, and she'll continue being somebody long after they've exhausted themselves trying to tear her down. Success, as they say, is the best revenge, and Meghan is serving it up one jar of delicious jam at a time while staying blessed, protected, and completely done with their nonsense. Loyal supporters rally behind the Duchess. Despite the noise. Look, despite all the noise and nonsense from the haters, Meghan has an army of loyal supporters who are backing her with their wallets and their voices, and you can't argue with that. Real people who've purchased her products are raving about the quality. Testimonials flooding in about how delicious the jam actually is, how it's the best they've ever tasted. Not just some celebrity cash grab, but legitimate quality products that stand on their own merit. And it's not just Americans either. She's got an international fan base that's purchasing these items, people from all over the world who recognize her work ethic and her giving spirit, supporters who believe in her and want to see her succeed. What the bitter British media doesn't want to acknowledge is that there's a whole community of people who are actively defending her reputation, calling out the double standards and the racism for what it is. People who are tired of watching this beautiful, intelligent, hard-working woman get torn down day after day for simply existing and thriving. These supporters aren't blind followers. They're people who see through the gaslighting, who recognise that Meghan was successful before the royal family and will continue to be successful without them, and who are putting their money where their mouth is to prove that no amount of media hatred can stop someone who's genuinely got something valuable to offer the world. The royal family must confront its role in this obsessive campaign. But this isn't just about bitter presenters and tabloid vultures having meltdowns over fruit spreads. This raises serious questions about how the royal family treated Meghan in the first place, and why they've sat silently while the media wages this relentless harassment campaign. The British media's role in promoting these divisive, hateful narratives isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of an industrial outrage machine that has a symbiotic relationship with the British establishment and the press ecosystem's desperate need to police who gets to thrive. The King has sat quietly doing nothing to stop this vicious, bold, loud bigotry on full display every single day, and that silence speaks volumes about institutional complicity. It's time for decent people on both sides of the Atlantic to call for respectful distance from these harassment campaigns and demand accountability from the institutions that enable them. When racist behaviour is this brazen, when the hate is this unhinged and pathetic, and when a woman has to flee a country for her safety only to be stalked across continents, we need to ask ourselves, what kind of society allows this? The least we can do is stop pretending this is normal commentary and recognise it for what it is. A calculated, cruel attempt to destroy someone who dared to walk away from a toxic system that will never accept her.